to the Creation Evaluation Station. Today we will be evaluating this. It's Lloyd's Ninja Mech. Pretty simple name, pretty simple set. It's a 4+ set. It is set number 71758. Oh, excuse me, 57. 71757. Has 57 pieces, and oh, here's the back. And retails for $9.99. Now you can tell the price is not going to be looking good, but it's a 4+ set, so that's kind of expected. Anyways, not too much to say. Let's go put it together. We have the contents of the box here. One semi-small instruction booklet, one small bag of pieces, and one much larger, very full bag of pieces. That's it. No stickers. Of course, it's a 4+ set, and should be pretty quick to put together. Here we have our cast for the set. We have Lloyd and one snake bad guy, and you know, they're lacking in accessories a little bit, but that's expected with a 4+ set. If you want their full, like, accessories and such, you can find them in the bigger sets. I do really like the color of this guy's staff, though. It's a nice shade of metallic gray. Now that, let's pull off what little accessories they do have and take a closer look at their prints. Here they are back. Now, they're not too much new with the snake guy. I mean, it's very well detailed like usual. It's we've been used multiple times, the same torso printing. Lloyd here is the same one that I've seen on other, except I think the opacity is off a little bit. Now that I'm seeing it in a brighter light, it doesn't quite look as bad. Maybe it was just the lighting, but the looks fine now. But the color here is supposed to match his arm, I believe, and it just didn't look like it. But I think it was just a shadow catching it off wrong. Other than that, you know, well, other than that, I guess it really isn't nothing wrong with it. Just looked off was the color lighting. But yeah, it looks fine. I mean, it's the usual pattern that we've seen in the other ones, where it's a bit stylized, but doesn't quite have the detail that the snake guys have. And here's the back, of course. And his kind of goofier looking face, and the snake's back with the armor printing there. Not too much to say about this. We've seen this a lot now, although this might be your first video here with this core way of Ninjago. But now you've seen it too. Here we have the whole set here. Not too much to say about the little display there. I mean, I guess the story behind this is Lloyd's finding his elemental weapon, which is why it's there. I got the snake guy, who's either in the way or maybe looking for it for himself, and a little golden spider there, which is kind of cute. I don't know if it's supposed to be the guardian of the weapon. I mean, it's golden like, you know, Lloyd's other color is, besides green. All in all, the thing doesn't look, the mech doesn't look too bad, but let's take a closer look at that. Here we go. Just the mech. Now, I took the sword off the little rock there and actually put it in his hand because I wanted to show that he can carry the weapon inside the mech. Something that Zane's mech, which is larger and definitely has more pieces to it, can't do. There's quite a bit of room inside there. Let's go in and take a look here. Take them off. So you can see there's a 2x4 plate back there for him to stand on. And he can stand on the front row or the back row. There's a lot of space there. Although if you want to put the weapon in, you should have him in the back row. anyhow, I think it really looks nice. I mean, it's a simple mech. I mean, it looks more like, you know, some kind of maybe service mech or something. Especially with got these really funky big feet, which gives it a good base for younger kids to play with. It's got quick hinges here in the hips, and just, you know, no side to side action. Though it does have a torso here. It's hooked on by pins straight through the bottom. You can pull it apart really easy to show that. Simple way to get that ability down. The body is built up, although it uses some rather large bricks. This is a 1x4 by 4. No, 3. 3 bricks high, and one stud that way. And these are 1x2 by 2s, 2 brick high pieces. And I like the way the top turned out with this smooth thing. It does look a little odd with his sword sticking out there, but I think it's good to be able to do that so kids can, you know, have a place and less likely to lose the weapon if it's not attached. And this one comes with 2 golden swords, which are a more appropriate size than the ones that Zane's mech came with. So that is one thing this has over Zane's mech. Now, this isn't quite as good looking as that one, and nor is it quite as posable with just the hip joints and stuff, but it is somewhat posable. Like, let's shut this off for now. You can see here he's got kind of a funky pose, and he can move his arms in different ways. Now it is limited somewhat, like, you know, in a particular direction he's limited just because of the way the ball joint is designed, like this way and this way. He can't go much past the shoulder piece, both front and back. But as soon as you kind of cock it at an angle, you get a little bit more movement. But it's enough to play with and give you some dynamic sword swinging motion. Chop, 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 chop. Back, you know, not very impressive. I think they could have, I don't know, maybe should have used green back there just to match the rest of it. I mean, if they used a few more pieces in there, they could have at least made it visually more interesting, even though it doesn't really need to be much. And then you have the nice little printed piece there on the chest, the new chest piece. So that's about it for this guy. We'll take it back to the desk and give it a rating. I just wanted to show the book here because I showed in the Destiny's Bounty that they have every page that has these hands on it, but things seem to possibly have changed, or maybe this is just because it's a smaller set. They still have the pages with the parts you need. They have a few more parts on each page, unlike some of them, because they actually have multiple steps on one page. So this would definitely cut down some on the number of pages you need, even though it, you know, still seems a little excess. Why can't you just have these on a small inset on the page with the instructions? I mean, kids' eyesights usually aren't too bad. They can't see smaller pictures. Just wanted to make note of that. I don't know. It might just because this is a smaller set, so they can put more steps in a page, or something they actively are doing to reduce the page count on these things. I just wanted to take a quick clip of this. It's on the second to last page of the instructions. I thought it was really cool and neat. very creative idea. It reminds me of what I want to do someday, is take a bunch of friend sets or parts from friend sets and make a giant mech, you know, and I want it to look cool too. So it's going to be a cool looking, you know, candy cane color coded badass mech. But yeah, I thought I'd show this. I think I've seen it in other places before, but it's pretty neat. Welcome back to the desk. First, I want to say there's been a lot of hate for this set, and I know 4+ sets aren't the greatest, but this one really isn't that bad. If you want to see a bad one, go check out my video on the Destiny, the final voyage of the Destiny's Bounty, a 4+ set that came out last year in their summer waves. It was bad, particularly bad looking. It was still, you know, a good, fun set for kids to play with, but visually it was pretty poor. But they were trying to recreate a larger, very highly detailed vehicle. The Destiny's Bounty is a large boat. It's got a lot of detail, and they were trying to do it with a lot of large pieces, and it just didn't work. Now, smaller vehicles work fine for 4+ sets, and you can make a larger set with a number of smaller builds in it. So if you want a bigger set, a bigger price point, that's what you can do. Their other option is the Jurassic Park sets, is you just stick a dinosaur in there, which, you know, those are expensive as is. They're large pieces, whatever, and then you build a couple vehicles and maybe some terrain for it. And yes, those can be smaller vehicles, which they've been very good at building small vehicles for 4+ sets. Now this mech is not exactly a small set, mech or small vehicle. Mechs are a little bit more complicated to build, therefore tend to be larger. But that's why they design these new pieces, so they can do that and build something easy for kids to build, design something easy for kids to build, and have a lot of good play value. And I think it's successful, and it still looks good. This still looks good. I know there was the Jay's Thunder Mech, and people rag on that one too, and I vaguely remember, but I can't remember it in too much details, and I don't have it. I wanted to get my hands on it because I wanted to check out these newer pieces, because I do like to do that type of thing. I still, if I can find it somewhere, because I know you can't get it online anymore, at least not on Lego website, I might pick it up. But that aside, this set works. This isn't trying to be something bigger or anything, and it works fine. Now, I'm always a little confused about the 4+ sets, and like, there are some large bricks that are used here in the back and along the sides. Why can't they use standard bricks? And because they aren't that much more different than, say, this tile used here or this piece used here. And this is what has me confused about the 4+ sets. Are they trying to make them simpler so that, you know, they're easier to put together for smaller hands? Or are they just trying to make it so they can put it together faster? Because they're, well, kids especially younger kids, can have much smaller, shorter attention spans, and they want to get to play sooner. So they're building it that way, which, having large pieces like this would get the set built faster. This didn't take me very long at all to build. And therefore, that's why they used the bigger pieces. I mean, this back could easily been built up with smaller pieces, and would, you know, maybe help teach building techniques to kids, which younger kids, maybe that age really doesn't need that. But going that all aside, let's give this a final eval. For appearance, I've already kind of gone over it, and it looks fine. I mean, it's not super amazing, super robot mech, but it's supposed to be a ninja mech, and he's got some nice slashing-looking arms, so it serves that. I mean, it's more of a kind of service mech type with its size or whatever, but there's some decent little, it doesn't take much, just a little bit of detail like the shoulders and stuff to give it a little bit more and make it look nice. It's really all it takes. So appearance is going to be getting an 8. It could look better. Like the Zanes make much better, and it's the same price as this as well. But we'll get to the pricing a little bit later. But yeah. So function. It functions, I think, really well for the age and what it's going for. There's plenty of movement here without having the knees bent. There's click hinges here. Gives it stiff, makes it stiffer to move, but you don't necessarily want kids moving it too much. You have this, which this isn't hard to move, and kids can use that to play with a lot. He's slicing his swords. He's got him arms cocked at the right angle so they move. So it functions well. The cockpit works well. You can put the guy in and out. This is serviceable here. There's not much to it. It's just a bit of terrain. I mean, there's a little bit more to it than that, but it services what it needs to do. So function is actually going to get a 9. I mean, there's nothing too much wrong with this. There's potentially some more movement that could have been allowed if we didn't have these shoulder pads here, but it's okay without it. You can still get some really good poses with the arms and everything else. So, like I said, that's getting a 9. Now, fun. It's fun set, and we have a one-on-one scenario, although we have some other kind of scenario going on here. Like, is this gold spider supposed to be guarding? They show his elemental sword attached to this rock, and the spider isn't on. I put him on because I thought it was more convenient. Was that spider guarding it? Is there, a second enemy? Is the snake trying to protect it too, or is it trying to get it for itself? Or do we have a three-way thing going on here? There's story possibilities here. That adds to fun. If you just took off this and had the snake guy by himself, there really isn't as much possibility for story as there is with the sword and the stone, so to speak. Although it's not quite of an Arthurian legend type thing going on here, but although I guess it could be. So even though this is a bigger vehicle and you have just one little snake guy, there's plenty of fun here, and this definitely has fun possibility with its posability. Like I said, it's still good, has plenty of posability to use and have fun with, especially for a younger kid. So as far as fun's going to go, it is also going to get a 9. If the snake had maybe a small build to it, then we could make it a 10. But it's still decent, and it's got plenty of fun and story ability and stuff like that going on. So it's getting a 9. Now, techniques. I had problems figuring out what I wanted to do with technique, because I've already talked about the large pieces and stuff, and like I said, there's opportunity there to teach building techniques there. So the technique's kind of lacking, but it's still there. These bricks are built straight up and down. There's nothing interlocking them there. But then as you build up the gold parts along the top, everything gets locked into place, and those are that's good building techniques to do so. Is there a lot here of good building techniques? No, which is why I ended up giving it an 8. I mean, I thought to give it a lower grade. I almost thought about giving it a 7 because, you know, oh, the back, there's just a bunch of large bricks back there. Boom, put it together and it's done. But then I thought about it. That's true, but there's some other stuff going on here that helps lock it in place and shows proper, you know, building techniques. So, yeah, we ended up getting an 8. Now, doing all the math, everything else, it's getting an 8.5, which is a decent set. It's mediocre. It's nothing super amazing, but it's fun. It's a good set. So 8.5 is the overall number. Now for price, this is where it tanks. And 57 pieces costing $10. That's a price to piece ratio of 17 cents. Costs 17 cents per piece, basically. Now, you've got bigger pieces. That's fine. Like the bigger bricks and stuff like that. But does that really add up to that much? Some of it, yes. Like, I could see maybe 17 cents is a lot. I could see 15 cents. This could be a $7 set. And this is the thing with this wave. It feels like certain sets are purposely being put at a certain price point just because they want something at that price point. They don't do sets less than $10 anymore. Other than like the bags, the not blind bags, but they are the bagged sets, poly bag sets. That's what they're usually called. Those are under $10, but they don't do anything like this under $10. And I mean, 7 cents. Yeah, I think how much? Oh, I didn't write down my calculations for that. But at 15% per piece, excuse me. Yeah, I think that's what it was. It was either 14, 15 cents per piece for $7. And ultimately, 6 is probably the best price. I think there's a little bit more here than $6 worth. $7, $8 would be better. 10, yeah, it feels like they're jacking it up to a certain price point. So, unfortunately, I mean, even though it's got bigger pieces, it still seems excessive. It's going to. I gave it a fail. This is fine for kids to play with that are younger, though. It's designed for them. But if you're a collector, it's not really designed for you. You can get just about everything here except for some of the weird specialized large pieces. But, you know, if you're after Lloyd or more of the snake guys, whatever, you can get them in bigger, cheaper sets. Like the next one up has Lloyd's car, race car, Evo, which I haven't got to yet. I'm getting there. But I've already kind of looked at the price, and that's a decent price set. Him in the dragon set, the Lloyd's Ultimate Dragon, I have the name wrong, thinking it off the top of my head. That is also a very good price set, and has Lloyd, has Snake figures, the whole to boot, has more than that. And if you really wanted to, with the pieces, you could build your own mech. But yeah, so it's really designed for younger kids. And the people that complain about it, it's usually not meant for you. So just stop complaining, please. It's still a decent mech for the age and the kids, the age group it's designed for. I haven't seen the Jay's mech that's similar than this. Actually, if you want a good mech, I would go and get Zane's Ice Mech, which is the same price as this, and also a better, totally better deal. More parts, and yeah. Now, if you had two of these, you could probably build something similar to Zane's mech out of it, sort of. Oh, one thing I did want to mention, though, is this has the larger swords. This has the larger swords. Zane's mech does not have large swords. It has just a regular minifigure sword. So this has one thing up on the Zane mech. And also, I think the hands look a little better. I mean, they aren't really much to them. They're just clips just like Zane's. But Zane's has like the clip attached to a ball joint like it's supposed to be more, but then it's just a clip. This one has basically the whole thing here is supposed to be a hand, and you know, with the tile on top and stuff, it I don't know, it just looks aesthetically better than Zane's kind of boring-ish looking hands that just look like two plates that are it looks like he's, I don't know, got deformed hands or something. It's just, these hands look better. That, and it's got appropriate size weapons. That's the only thing Zane's set's really missing, is the sword. It needs something bigger. But that being said, final score is an 8.5 F. Do I recommend this to anybody other than parents looking for young kids, fun Legos to get them started? This is a great way to get kids started here. Is with something like this. No, not really. That's who I'm talking to, parents right now. This is a bit on the expensive side. I think it should come down a couple of dollars, and even though it technically by Lego, by the general standards, I don't say Lego standards, but the general standards of 10 cents per piece doesn't exactly apply with 4 Plus, but 17 cents for this is a little much. That being said, I will be getting to the other two sets from this wave if you've been keeping up with my videos, and hopefully be done with them this week. I'll still be missing the temple, which I gotta wait or see if I can get it somewhere else. But the Lego shop is sold out of them, and I'll have to look around or wait for it to come in, but that's going to be coming eventually. Anyways, that's it for me here, the Creation Evaluation Station, reminding you that creativity is key. Here we have our leftover parts. Obviously not much here, since usually these are small parts, and this is a 4 Plus set, and the less small parts the better. I was actually surprised that there was pins even in this set, which seemed, you know, Technic pins seem a little off for 4 Plus set, but it is required for the legs to attach to the torso, and gives its rotation movement. Then an extra sword, which isn't surprising either. But other than that, that's it. Here are the contents of the bags. I put both bags in one because this one was just really small. And there's a lot of big pieces in the others. Not surprising. It's a 4 Plus set. I mean, I partially got this just for these because I did want to check these out. I did not get the Jay's Thunder Mech, Lightning Mech, something like that, whatever it was from a couple waves ago. So I never got my hands on these pieces, and even though, you know, I hear a lot of hate for that set, don't see it around anywhere, so the appropriate audience bought him up. Must have enjoyed him. Set does have a lot of gold pieces. We got a lot of gold here. We got that new chest piece in gold. Some swords. Have a plant. I think this is the only set other than the big temple that has any environmental pieces to it. Got some hinges. Ball joints. Got these gold pieces. Much larger gold piece. Have a gold printed piece here. More gold pieces. We have a gold spider. And we have both figures in here. Lloyd and a snake guy. Our weapons. Some the double 1x2 bricks, which you can appreciate those because those can be used for building larger things. It's like a lot of people don't like larger pieces, but if you're building a bigger thing and you just really need multiples, like having something like that to quickly build it up is much better. Oh yes, we have this, which appears to be some kind of, you know, for a car type thing, but I just find it interesting. It also has a peg hole in the middle of it, which is different. I wonder if it's, nah, it couldn't be. But yeah, that's a little bit different piece. See how it goes into this set. Well, that's that. Overall, I mean, it's got a bunch of pieces. Got a lot of big pieces, which that's expected.